Our ROAS or return on ad spend is 4 to 1. We are profitable. I hear this from marketers and CEOs all the time, and it's often completely wrong. ROAS or return on ad spend has become the metric everyone obsesses over. But here's the thing, ROAS does not tell you if you're profitable. It does not tell you if you should scale. And it definitely does not tell you the truth about your marketing performance. As a marketing leader, I have seen more organizations make terrible decisions because they trusted ROAS than almost any other metric. In this video, I will break down why ROAS lies and what you should measure instead. Let's start with what ROAS actually measures. ROAS is simple, revenue divided by ad spend. Let's say if you spend $10,000 on ads and generate $40,000 in revenue, your ROAS is 4 to 1. Straightforward, right? But here is what ROAS does not tell you. It doesn't tell you if those customers are profitable. It does not tell you if you can afford to acquire them, and it does not tell you if that revenue includes returns, refunds, or chargebacks. It doesn't account for the cost of goods sold, fulfillment, customer service, or any other operational costs. ROAS is a top-line metric. It measures revenue in, ad spend out. But revenue is not profit, and if you are optimizing only for ROAS, you might be optimizing for the wrong thing. Let me show you why ROAS is dangerous. There are 3 fundamental problems with using ROAS as your North Star metric. First, ROAS ignores profitability. You can have a 5 to 1 ROAS and still lose money on every customer. Let me give you an example. Let's say you sell a product for $100 and your ROAS is 5 to 1. That means you spend $20 to acquire a customer who buys $100. Sounds great, isn't it? But what if your product costs $50 to manufacture and ship, and customer service costs another $10 per customer? Maybe your platform fees are $5 and returns at 20%, so $20 back out the door. Let's do that math. The revenue is $100, your ad spend is $20, your cost of goods sold plus fulfillment is another $50, and you're spending $10 on customer service and $5 on platform fees, and another $20 on returns. What's the total cost? $105. So what's your profit? Negative $5. So in this scenario, you have a 5 to 1 ROAS and you're still losing money. ROAS does not care about your unit economics. It only cares about revenue. And not all ROAS is created equal. A 3 to 1 ROAS on Google search might be amazing, but a 3 to 1 ROAS on cold Facebook prospecting might be terrible. Because Google search captures high intent demand. People are ready to buy. And Facebook prospecting creates demand. You're reaching people who were not looking for you. Remember this, different intent is different costs, different ROAS benchmarks. And this is what I see businesses doing all the time. They set a blanket ROAS target, such as we need maybe 4 to 1 across all the channels, and then they start optimizing every channel to that ROAS number. They would kill the channels that are building awareness because the ROAS is only 2 to 1. And even though those channels are profitable and feeding the funnel. ROAS does not tell you if a channel is working. It only tells you the ratio of revenue to ad spend. That's it. This third problem I have with ROAS is that it can be gamed. It amuses me how many marketers game ROAS without realizing it. You can increase ROAS by targeting only your warmest audiences. Retargeting people who already visited your site. High ROAS, right? Maybe targeting people who abandoned the cart. Again, high ROAS. You can also get high ROAS by targeting your email list that's converting pretty well in the past. But you're not building new demand. You're just harvesting the demand that already exists. And if that's all you do, growth stops because you're not acquiring new customers. You're just converting the same pool of warm traffic over and over again. ROAS rewards short-term thinking. It rewards harvesting over building. And if you optimize purely for ROAS, you will cap your growth. So if ROAS does not tell the truth, what should you measure? Here are the metrics that actually matter. Contribution margin. This tells you after your ad spend and COGS, how much margin do you have left per customer. Here is the formula. The contribution margin is equal to revenue minus total variable costs. And this is your actual profitability per customer. If your contribution margin is positive, you're making money. But if it's negative, you're losing money no matter what your ROAS is. Here is an example. Let's say your product price is $100 and you're spending $20 on ads to get it. And your COGS and fulfillment costs another $50. And your variable costs such as customer service and returns cost you $15. In this case, your contribution margin is $15. That's your actual profit per customer after all variable costs. And this is what you should optimize for, not ROAS. Payback period. This metric tells you how long does it take to recover your CAC. If you spend $100 to acquire a customer and they generate $25 in margin per month, your payback period is 4 months. Why does this matter? Because it determines how fast you can scale. If your payback is 2 months, you can reinvest cash quickly and grow fast. But if your payback is 18 months, you will need a lot of capital to scale, or you will grow very slowly. Payback period tells you if your growth is capital efficient. ROAS does not do this. This is a very important metric, the LTV to the CAC ratio. And this tells you over the lifetime of a customer, how much profit do they generate compared to what you spend to acquire them. A healthy LTV to CAC ratio is 3 to 1 or higher. That means for every dollar you spend acquiring a customer, they generate $3 in lifetime value. Here is the thing, ROAS does not account for repeat purchases, upgrades, or churn. It only looks at the first purchase. But the LTV to CAC ratio looks at the full customer relationship. If you are looking only at ROAS, you're optimizing for the first transaction, but the real value is in repeat customers. Blended CAC tells you what's your true customer acquisition cost across all channels, not just paid ads. Most companies calculate CAC as ad spend divided by new customers. But that ignores organic traffic, referrals, content marketing, SEO, and brand awareness. But blended CAC accounts for your entire marketing spend, both paid and unpaid. It gives you a more accurate picture of what it actually costs to acquire a customer. ROAS only looks at paid channels, but blended CAC looks at the whole system. Let me give you an example of how this plays out. I worked with an e-commerce brand recently and they were obsessed with ROAS. They had this rule that every campaign had to hit 4 to 1 ROAS or it got killed. So their team optimized hard for that number. So they hit 4 to 1 ROAS consistently and their CEO was happy. But growth had plateaued and they could not scale past about $3 million a year. When I looked at their marketing, here is what I found. They were only running retargeting and email campaigns. And because those channels had the highest ROAS, often 6 to 7, they had killed all their prospecting campaigns because ROAS was only 2.5 or 3 to 1. So they weren't acquiring new customers. They were just converting the same warm audience over and over. So what we did, we stopped optimizing just for ROAS. We started optimizing for contribution margin and new customer acquisition. We relaunched prospecting campaigns. The ROAS was lower initially, around 2.5 to 1 to 3 to 1, but the contribution margin was positive, about $15 per customer. And we were acquiring 400 new customers per month instead of the 50 customers they were doing it previously. Within 6 months, they went from $3 million to $5 million in annual revenue. The ROAS on prospecting channels, still 2.5 to 1, but they were profitable and growing. And that's the difference between optimizing for ROAS and optimizing for what actually matters. Here's what I want you to remember. ROAS is not a bad metric. It's just incomplete. It tells you the ratio of revenue to ad spend, and that's useful information. But it does not tell you if you are profitable. It doesn't tell you if you can scale. It doesn't tell you if you're building sustainable growth. If you're optimizing for ROAS alone, you're probably ignoring profitability, maybe killing channels that are actually working, and capping your growth by only targeting warm audiences. Instead of doing all this, measure your contribution margin. Are you actually profitable? Your payback period. Can you scale efficiently? Your LTV to CAC ratio. Is the full customer relationship profitable? And your blended CAC. What's your true customer acquisition cost? Metrics should reduce confusion and not decorate slides. And if a metric does not change your decision, it's just a lot of noise to me. ROAS does not tell you the truth. It tells you one narrow slice of the story. And this is a gears problem in the signal framework, not a channel problem. If you want to build a dashboard with metrics that actually matter, I have put together a template and I call it the Decision Metrics Dashboard. It includes contribution margin, payback period, LTV to CAC ratio, and blended CAC. And they have the formulas you can plug your numbers into. I'll drop the link in the description. Have a beautiful day.